Like, if you need a lot of brains, you're going to be
in trouble. Welcome, Truth and Transparency subscribers, members, lurkers. At some point, you're going to have an opinion on the video. Do me a favor and thumbs it up or thumbs it down. Make yourself known. Do not be sheep. We don't like sheep. Okay, so everybody has to understand why this is so important, why this is so big. Great, awesome. This guy Cyree just put in some affidavit. Like, who? What does this really mean? Well, let's see here. Brian Koberger's defense team demands discovery yet again. That has been a reoccurring theme in the Idaho4 case. Brian Koberger's defense team history. The defense has made over 20 supplemental requests for discovery in this case. And my question is that normal when you would be receiving something like 68 terabytes of discovery? If the state's providing you all this stuff, what are you requesting, man? Like, you know what I mean? Something over 400 or 500 requests, like individual, like you number them. Why does the defendant, keep requesting discovery if they have already 68 terabytes? Well, because all of that massive data mega dump, it can be considered sandbagging in the legal world. Sandbagging, dumping shit that the state ain't even going to use, right? Because it's not their case in chief, but more importantly, it wouldn't even be able to be used for like your case to like defend yourself. Clearly, the defense is seeking certain things, specific things when they are writing up these supplementals. And the state seems to either supply them with an answer that has been customary, which is, we don't have that, it doesn't exist, or the state has supplied them with some material that then has led then the defense to ask for something else because of what the state had just given them. Therefore, then it would lead to more questions. So with that says, you would have logic and common sense and critical thinking that you're like, okay, well, if this exists that they just sent us, look at Tommy was over here at the coffee place when they interviewed him. Why didn't Tommy, who's a police officer, get the surveillance cameras from the coffee place if he was there that morning? What was he even there for? Why would he be doing an interview at the coffee place with Tom? So because of this, and you can lead and ask because of common sense, and if you're good at what you do, it would lead you to believe that other things would exist, and you can ask questions about that. So, but it has baffled me, not really, but kind of, that Moscow the representatives of Moscow would do what they've done in plain sight. Now, I don't claim to think that they are smart in any fashion, but they're veterans. So do you think that this would be the first time that this is how they play ball? With that being said, what I'm saying is that how in the world did the representatives of Moscow, meaning Bill and Ashley Jennings, think that they would be able to attempt to pull off hiding their entire case and creating, in essence, a trial by ambush, with the entire world watching? How could this possibly happen? Then I said to myself, well, what really is the world watching? Who are they watching? What information is the world really thinking when it comes to this case? What are they being provided with? So this live show is to do a couple things. One of the most important things that it will do is it's going to show with one very, very important part of this case, how this case has operated from jump, and that is Moscow has attempted to manipulate and fabricate evidence in a quadruple homicide. It has been close to 3 years since this horrific stabbings of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho, on the University of Idaho's campus at what police dubbed a frat sorority off-campus house and neighborhood over the decades. The police have said that. We've seen that on body cam. Veteran prosecutors Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings have played not only the role of the prosecution in this case, but very early on, they have played the role of investigators / shot callers. Why would the state hide their entire case from the defense and the public. It is an undisputed fact that the state has either hidden or doesn't have experts on board with reports, disclosures, and opinions that mirror what Ashley Jennings and Bill Thompson have told the public since December of 2022. And most of all, what they told the public in January of 2023, when they asked for a probable cause affidavit to be spread far and wide. Yes, we all remember that. Well, welcome, as this should raise a ton of eyebrows. And here we go. I want you to take a look at some stuff. Let me see if this is the one I was doing. I wanted to show you guys this. This should raise a lot of eyebrows. Pun intended. Prosecutorial misconduct is one thing. We've all heard it before, have seen it before. Cases have been tossed out completely because of prosecutors violating court orders, procedural errors, ethical codes, etc., or a more likely outcome when a prosecutor acts out of pocket. Sanctions are to be handed down by the judges. Okay. You guys like that? Welcome. This should raise a lot of eyebrows. Had to say that there. So cheers. Now, this all started, when I say this all started, I don't know why that just did that. Sorry. Whoopsies. There you go. Now, welcome to the Idaho student murders if you're new to the channel. This all began, well, in December of 2022, but for the purpose of this live broadcast, prosecutor Ashley Jennings, for this live, filed a document in February of 2025, just recently, to make her deadline duty, which was, she had first of all asked for an extension to file the motion in limine. The state was whatever the state is seeking to keep out. So now, February 2025, Jennings files a motion in limine pertaining to timing advanced records from AT&T. So Jennings puts this ball in motion by firing off and saying, which basically a motion in limine is another word for suppression. Like, we're not going to be talking or having anything to do with these timing advance that the defendant keeps asking about, keeps talking about. And this is why. So Jennings starts this when she files the motion in limine in February 24th. So just last month. And Jennings' reasons for the filing of this motion are very important, though. The layman way to understand this is, so I try to break it down. First, what is timing advance records? For the layperson, it is location data that AT&T stores on each and every one of you who have AT&T as a provider, but also there's towers if your phone's communicating. So, but for this purposes, hey, AT&T customers, what's up? The background history. When the murders happened in November of 2022, one of the first things that these investigators and any investigators would do is you'd file a search warrant for the cell phone providers to get the tower dumps. Okay, that was done in this case, which they did to all of the carriers. So, and you're doing a certain period of time. And in this case, it was 3 to 5 a.m., which would show them any movement on around the King Road residence. Basically, just think of all of Moscow. So if you were using a phone for the purposes to call, text, shit like that, you would be making a connection with a tower. And so in this case, AT&T timing advance records were produced for 3,800 people between 3 and 5 a.m. because of this tower dump data that they did from 3 to 5. And it would show you if you were utilizing the tower for AT&T in the area of the crime scene, but basically just think of all of Moscow. Now, after you do a tower dump, you can then do a geolocation parameter, which that's what I believe Josiah Roloff has done. We'll come back to that. But very simply, like, here's your grid, here's your circle, okay? And you're going to set it up, and here's different numbers that come up on this. Like, here are these different numbers that belong to the cell phones, and they're in this area at this time. So now, when they did this in this case, they developed an investigative lead in this case, and that source is now from Cy Ray's affidavit, and I believe it is from utilizing cell tower tools, because I don't think that he would have said this if it didn't incorporate that in some capacity. Am I wearing Tennessee orange today? Go Vols. So also in this case, there are two victims that had AT&T as their provider. So when the search warrants were written in these cases for, just after the murders, the timing advance language was used in those search warrants. So there's two victims. They had AT&T. When the defendant, Brian Kober, received discovery throughout this case, the experts in their respective fields pointed out, so whoever Kohlberger hired as their experts, okay, those experts would go through the discovery or whatever they were being provided with, then to go through to say, yeah, no, look at, but all said and done, Kohlberger's team pointed out that timing advance records were used because the records were produced. We have them. Now, this is important because at the time of the crime, AT&T did not produce, they were like the last provider, timing advance records to local or state law enforcement. So in 2022, November, you couldn't just go and get them. Even if you filed a search warrant, they did not provide, AT&T did not have a civil relationship with local and state police. But clearly, when these experts are looking at I have these records, they are produced in November of 2022, and they're timing advanced, meaning that, well, they got this a different way. And I know how they got it. That's what somebody then is on Brian Kohlberger's team is saying, that there's only one way that this could have happened back then. So again, this is super, super important because at the time of the crime, AT&T did not produce the time advance records to local and state law enforcement. And one of Brian Kohlberger's experts knew this. But he also knew that they existed via another route, which was through the FBI and their very close relationship with AT&T. So this is where it gets super interesting. Here it is. On February 24th, when Ashley Jennings filed this motion in limine to say the following. Comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and respectfully moves this court for an order in limine. So in order, like I said, we're suppressing. So an order in limine prohibiting the defense from making any reference to the absence of AT&T timing advance records for Brian Kohlberger. The state brings this motion based on defense counsel's repeated references to this alleged existence of AT&T timing advance records related to the defendant's cell phone. Like, why do they keep bringing this up? Ashley Jennings is saying, she's like, here, look at, see defendant's supplemental response, RE expert witness, defense exhibit, defense Bates, defendant's exhibit this, which is, so she's providing all, like, look at, they keep asking us for this. They keep mentioning about these timing advance records for his phone. The state has been advised and will offer documentation and or testimony that AT&T records are produced by their Global Legal Demand Center, CLDC. AT&T GLDC did not begin producing timing advance records until May of 2023. Ashley Jennings is telling this to the court. This wasn't a response to anything. This is Ashley Jennings motioning the court and making this proffer. It's what it is. You're proffering this evidence up. You're proffering evidence to say the defense, we're not going to have this in court, in trial. The defense is going to bring up stuff that is going to completely confuse the jury, mislead them, because none of it ever has happened. Okay. She's informing Hippler and saying, Judge Hippler, the state has been advised and will offer documentation and or testimony that AT&T records are produced by their GLD Center, which is the Global Legal Demand Center. When you're going to service a warrant, that's who handles it. And that AT&T and GLDC did not begin producing timing advance records until May of 2023. I have, she says, all records for the defendant's phone were obtained from GLDC in December of 2022. Do you see that right there? All records from the defendant's phone, we went the route of going through GLDC in December. The state intends to supplement this motion with additional information from the FBI and or AT&T prior to the hearing that we're supposed to have in April for what she's saying. Any statements by the defense counsel or their witnesses that there is this additional evidence that could have been provided to them, like, because that's the discovery process, is be a Brady violation if it was in fact exculpatory material, blah, blah, blah. So we're not going to have any of this, that we didn't provide them with this. This is a mischaracterization of the evidence and should not be allowed, she says. And she is citing under Idaho Rules of Evidence 403. She's saying that any probative value of such evidence is outweighed by the danger of misleading the jury. She's saying that even if this would be relevant, that it's going to mislead the jury, or it's undue delay or a waste of time. That's what that rule is about, is that you have to weigh the probative value of something. What's even the value in it? Okay. Versus that when its probative value is just, it can be relevant, but it's just so that it's going to confuse the jury or mislead that it out. We're not going to have that happen. That's what she cites here. The danger of misleading the jury. For these reasons, the state requests that the court issue an order in limine prohibiting the defense from making any reference to the absence of AT&T timing advance records for Brian Kohlberger. Ashley Jennings, submitted February 24th. Now, Ann Taylor then responds, and I clipped this part of it. So then what ends up happening when you have, the procedure here is Ann Taylor would then be able to respond to this. Okay. So then what Ann Taylor, first of all, do you want to know how one must have been like, if I could only imagine what Cyray and the team, when they read that, said, wow, I mean, we expected her to we're gonna, we were playing this long game. We're gonna show how all of this has been lies. And, but wow, we could never imagine that Ashley Jennings was going to go this route, or could you? Because nobody does this in their first rodeo. Okay. If we believe that Ashley Jennings this has never happened before, then I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. So then Ann Taylor responds, and she says, and I'm just taking a clip of it because it's just keeping the fine points here. Mr. Kohlberger is aware of the fact that AT&T GLDC did not produce TA reports in 2022. There is no doubt any representative from AT&T GLDC will testify to this fact. Mr. Kohlberger does not contest this claim. The state is also aware of this, as they did not obtain the current AT&T timing advance records in their possession through the AT&T GLDC. They had to utilize the FBI, who went through a different legal compliance unit within AT&T to obtain those records. When you actually read it like this, guys, and you see to yourself, wow, the defense in the response is telling Ashley Jennings, we know how you did it. We know that you did it this way. We know that the GLD, that's not how you got it. And this is how you got it. So think about how diabolical this is. She writes, Ann Taylor puts this in a motion, responds, and says, we're well aware of all of this, Ashley, but we're going to tell you what we also know. The state is also aware of this. They had to utilize the FBI, who went through a different legal compliance unit within AT&T to obtain those records. At the onset of this investigation, detectives with the Moscow Police Department began obtaining call detail records as part of the investigation. In doing so, they heavily relied on assistance from Special Agent Nick Balance. This is first documented in emails exchanged on November 15th of 2022. Subject, AT&T Tower Dump. Nilo's began location database, blah, 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 a little while back. List that and the timing advance, since both are applicable with them now. Signed, Nick Balance. In reviewing this email, there is no doubt the email is in reference to AT&T, as it is referenced in the subject line. This is first documented in the exchanges beginning November 15th, 2022. The murders were November 13th. In reviewing this email, there is no doubt the email is in reference to AT&T, and it is in reference to, it says in the subject line. Additionally, there is an attachment with the email chain that contains the words warrant AT&T. Detective Mowry then forwarded Special Agent Balance's email to Prosecutor Ashley Jennings. Detective Mowry was informing Prosecutor Jennings of the availability of timing advance reports and requesting it be added to the warrant. In reviewing the AT&T search warrants that were produced over the next few days after this email exchange, all of them contain specific verbiage requesting AT&T timing advance reports, just as recommended by Special Agent Balance. Now, the timing advance report the state disclosed on other phones is what Mr. Kohlberger has sought relating to his own personal phone records since this has begun. He requested the report through discovery and during a motion to compel. Mr. Kohlberger is aware and will provide testimony in support that the AT&T timing reports currently in the state's possession were not provided to the state by AT&T and GDLC. The reports were produced through another compliance unit within AT&T through the FBI's close relationship with AT&T. Mr. Kohlberger posts that relying on CLDC stating that they did not provide TA reports in 2022 misses the issue at hand. Throughout the discovery process, the state has provided different explanations about the timing advance report availability, but was always claiming it was not in their possession. The state obtained search warrants in December of 2022 where the state sought AT&T timing advance reports for Mr. Kohlberger from November of 2022. The search warrant for Mr. Kohlberger's phone data contains identical verbiage as was used requesting timing advance reports in the warrants issued for other AT&T phones like the victims in November of 2022. Same verbiage. The same process of serving the warrant was also followed. So Moscow Police Department obtained the search warrant, provided it to the special agent Nick Balance, who then provided it to AT&T. The exact same process, which resulted in timing advance reports being produced in November, was repeated in December. The second AT&T warrant contained a document titled AT&T Mobility Carrier Request form instructing AT&T to provide timing advance records for the past 7 days. That was on the pen, trap, and trace. So they did the historical ones because they put it in December of 2022 and they were asking for his historical records from November. Okay. Mr. Kohlberger has sought timing advance records related to his own phone and litigated the issue. During the course of litigation, the lead detective, he testified that he had seen Mr. Kohlberger's timing advance records, and that came out in the May 30th, 2024 hearing. Mr. Kohlberger has documents produced with search warrants that instruct AT&T to provide timing advance data. So here, the defense in this same reply is telling Ashley Jennings, we have the emails. We have the emails. Discovery documents contain emails about including that request in search warrants because it was available. Mr. Kohlberger provides those documents as exhibits. Those were the ones that were under seal that we could not see when this was a huge data dump for us on March 19th, 2025. Okay. Then, if you're Ashley Jennings, you're going to be like, fuck. Right there, fuck. You know. There was no way that she could not know, right? But instead, Ashley Jennings does a reply on March 24th to Ann Taylor's March 17th filing. Remember, this all came at the same time when we got this mega dump. And so it's interesting that they're not uploading the shit on when shit's being filed and that they want to mega dump shit. Same fucking shit they did to the defense with the discovery. So check this out. And now Hector, we need you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Hector. Hector, how you been? I've been working so hard, man, I can't even feel my balls. All right, well, I believe that Ashley Jennings got teabagged, but can you verify that for me? So, as you can see, this big date right here, 3/24/2025, okay? But we didn't get it on that date. Now, Ashley Jennings, AT&T timing advance records, comes now to the state of Idaho by and through the Latell County Prosecuting Attorney's Office and respectfully replies to the defendant's objection to the state's motion limine for the AT&T timing advance records. Hold on. Let me back that out. Okay, perfect. Timing advance records refer to data that is used by providers to estimate the location of a mobile device. The collection of this data is necessary for a cellular network to work properly. Carriers do not retain this data indefinitely. She then says, regarding AT&T, before June 2023, AT&T retained timing advance records for 7 days. So then she's going to gaslight the court here. In this case, she just gaslights him. I'm not even going to read that. In this case, the homicides occurred on November 13th. So she's doubling down. On November 13th, 2022, Brian Kohlberger was identified as a suspect December 19th. Search warrants for his AT&T records were executed on December 23rd. At this point, timing, she's over here saying, Hippler, I don't know how to get it through these fucking people's heads over here on the defense team, But timing advance did not exist then. Okay? She's like, right here. At this point, timing advance records were not available for Brian Kohlberger. Hippler, for his phone to cover the relevant time period, November 13th, 2022. Despite defendants' repeated assertions, the fact of the matter is that AT&T did not provide timing advance records to law enforcement for Brian Kohlberger's phone. Do you see that sentence right there? Despite defendants' repeated assertions, the fact of the matter is that AT&T did not provide timing advance records to law enforcement for Brian Kohlberger's phone. The state is attaching, this is where she goes fucking all in cards. This is what, like when you're watching Texas Hold'em and you see somebody push all of their chips in. And so she pushes all of her chips in and she's all in when she's going to go and make this move. The state is attaching affidavits from AT&T verifying that the state did not receive timing advance records for Brian Kohlberger's phone. See State's Exhibit 1, S1, and S2. Ready? This is what was included. And Ray had about shit the bed. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Ashley Jennings taking all of her chips and pushing them in and saying, here. This is what I told you that we were going to present before April 9th, okay? Here. Now, we got to remind ourselves this. Why do you guys think that Ray, when was the decision made that Ray was not going to be testifying in this case for this purpose? Not in this case, period. For this purpose. You have to understand a timeline here. When did Hippler say it won't be necessary, that we don't need people testifying and blah, blah, blah? Okay. Well, look at what Ashley Jennings supplies to the court. One would think, wow, okay, I, Stephen Gordon, attest under the penalty of perjury by the laws of the United States of America. And look at this. This is a certificate of authenticity of domestic records pursuant to federal rules of evidence. Federal rules. I, Stephen Gordon, attest under the penalties of perjury that he is the director of compliance. I am qualified to authenticate records responsive to the attached search warrant dated 12/22/2022. Because I am familiar with how the records were created, managed, stored, and retrieved. I further state that 1, AT&T maintains records made on or near the time of the occurrence. B, AT&T provided records for the phone number, that's Brian's, responsive to the referenced search warrant, dated this, for records between November 12th, 2022, 12 a.m. See? AT&T did not provide timing advance records for phone number 509-592-8458. Timing advance records were only available if requested within 7 days of the specified time frame. Did he just give us a little nug? Leanna, when did you think that you said that you thought that they had Brian Kohlberger's name? Now, Hippler would have seen this and said, right here, fucking dude says, AT&T did not provide timing advance records for phone number da-da-da. Timing advance da-da-da. The timing advance records were not included in AT&T's records responsive to the reference search warrant because more than 7 days elapsed between November 13th and the date of the search warrant, December 23rd, 2022. So Hippler's believing the state, okay, because of what this affidavit just said, okay? And Ashley Jennings is like, look, ma, no hands. And then, so, while that was filed on 3/24/2025, another important filing came on when Ashley Jennings electronically files on March 24, 2025. And she, for the first time, states here, when she's asking for these certificate, so number 5, and I actually put it on here, so maybe it might be easier for you guys to see, but I think you guys can see it fine. She states that AT&T phone records for Brian Kober, Madison Mogan, and Xana. Okay. They're like, we provided that on a hard drive, April 5th, 2023. The above AT&T phone records are relied upon by the state's expert witness, Nicholas Balance, as detailed in his expert disclosures. Okay. So what you provided, what we provided to the defense, this is what Nikki Poo has relied on in his report. She then says, a certificate of authenticity is attached as Exhibit S3, which was included with the return for Brian Kober's AT&T records for November 12th. So she's doubling down over here. This was provided to the defendant around April 4th, 2023. A certificate of authenticity is attached as Exhibit S4, which was included with the return for Brian Kober's AT&T records, and this was for the historical one, June to December. Okay. Call detail records were provided for both Madison Mogan and Xana and discovered on May 16th, 2024, and again on August 16th, 2024. The state intends to obtain a certificate of authenticity from AT&T that comports with, offering up this. Again, these are call detail records. This is not timing advanced. Okay, this is different. Those are two separate things. Okay, so then Hippler says Cyree isn't testifying, and because of that affidavit. Now, completely outraged. March 25th, 2025, which is legit. One business day, 1 day, period. March 25th, 2025, which is legit, just 1 day after Jennings files her shit. Okay, this is really important. While they're all talking about baklava, we're talking about evidence. Here we go. Oh, we'll show the screen. Show this one. Share. Okay. Okay. When multiple cell sites record timing advanced data in short periods of time, it is possible. So this is from Cyree. He files an affidavit. And so clipping what's most important. When multiple cell sites record timing advanced data in short periods of time, it is possible to use trilateration to determine the location of a mobile device. The using of timing advanced data in this manner is one of the most accurate ways for law enforcement to locate a mobile device. Given these records are available in a historical context, it is possible to conduct an analysis of timing advanced data to pinpoint historical locations. So back in the day, of mobile device at a given date and time. It is also possible to determine routes of travel, stagnation, and when a mobile device is powered on and off. As a result of its accuracy, requesting timing advanced data has become a standard practice for all law enforcement in the United States and is regularly requested through legal process relating to a criminal investigation. So now, oh, did I not share that? Okay, there it goes. So now here we have, let's see. Perfect. I want you guys to see the date first. What date does that say? Sworn. Does that say the 5th? The 5th? The 25th? Yeah, that's right. The 25th, right? The 25th. So the day after Ashley Jennings throws her tits on the table. All in chips. Okay. All in. Cy Ann Taylor says, comes now Brian C. Colbert by and through his attorney of record and hereby files the accompanying affidavit of Cy in support of their objection to the state's motion in limine pertaining to AT&T timing advance records filed with the court on March 17th, 2025. That is when the defense filed their objection to Ashley's filing from February 24th, 2025. This affidavit is filed pursuant to the court's March 18th, 2025 order denying witness testimony at the April 9th, 2025 hearing, subject to the court hearing remote testimony. Timing advanced. Cy says that in August of 2021, I was approached by an FBI special agent to assist in analyzing a type of record set identified as AT&T timing advance report. That was the first time he was ever made aware of this type of data from AT&T. Upon request, he is telling Hippler, upon request, I can provide the date, time, location, and FBI agent I assisted with this record set. As of the year 2021, AT&T had not officially released a timing advance report to law enforcement. Therefore, because he created the ZX software program and it did not have yet support AT&T timing advance records. But as a result of this interaction with this FBI agent, Cy went and he obtained that document through his interaction. And then he went to his engineers, his software engineers. Here you go, to write the code so that it's in his system to support future uploads of this timing advance report format. The very next day, Cy was informed by that special agent that, oh shit, that is only supposed to be viewed for the FBI. Okay. But clearly, because of what he did, however, due to the interaction explained here, there is actually a paper trail documenting the facts of this interaction. Paper trail, like it's all metadata backed up. We have it all. I have firsthand knowledge that AT&T was providing the feds with timing advance reports prior to August of 2021. Now, Ashley Jennings makes all these things saying about the Global Legal Demand Center. During Cy's career, he's been working with call detail records from every cellular provider in the United States. He's been in thousands of cases. I have worked with AT&T Global Legal Demand Center for over 15 years. I have firsthand knowledge that the AT&T GLDC, yeah, that is one way, not the only way for law enforcement to obtain call detail records from AT&T. Now, this is where the important part comes in, because remember, Ashley Jennings just filed off a huge affidavit of authenticity. We did not get it. Okay, we never got it. We don't have Brian Kohlberger's shit, and they didn't provide it to us. Here it is. Okay. Now, I'm going to make this bigger. There we go. Oops. I have firsthand knowledge and experience in working with individuals at AT&T associated with these other programs. One such individual is Boyd Jackson. Mr. Jackson is a program director at AT&T. So Boyd Jackson is a program director at AT&T who manages many of the programs I am referencing. Mr. Jackson is the primary contact for the FBI when requesting records outside of the standard GLDC process. So Ashley Jennings is like, there is no way, she was advised, there is no way that they are ever going to know about anything. Okay. This is how we did it. We got that authenticity back in 2024. We've been covering our tracks since then. Okay. I'm going to push all my cards in, right? GLDC, the state, so this is going back to what Jennings said. He's saying Jennings is correct in their claim that AT&T GLDC did not provide law enforcement with AT&T timing advance reports until May of 2023. As a matter of fact, in May of 2023, the working group known as GLDC had only begun their storage of the timing advance records. They weren't even supplying them yet. The first official release of AT&T timing advance data was not provided to law enforcement until June 15th of 2023 by GLDC. So by going through that local state. In 2022, the FBI, Syray is swearing under the penalties of perjury. In 2022, the FBI obtained AT&T timing advance records from another source outside of GLDC. Now, this is about discovery. Sandbagging. They've been asking for these records for how long? Since the case began. AT&T timing advance records in the state's possession. During this investigation, law enforcement obtained the following AT&T timing advance data. So he is telling Hippler, 1, they got the 2 out of the 4 victims, they had AT&T phones. Law enforcement obtained the AT&T timing data on both of their phones. Law enforcement developed an early lead. This is 2, an early investigative lead in this case. That person had an AT&T phone at the time of the crime. Law enforcement obtained his AT&T timing advance data. 3, law enforcement also requested a tower dump. This is what I talked about at the beginning of the program, consisting of AT&T timing advance data. This request involved AT&T providing all of the connections between 2 specific cell sites in Moscow during a 2-hour period. All of the connections. Okay. in all, there were over 3,800 AT&T mobile phones identified in the timing advance tower dump that they did. The AT&T timing advance data was obtained by the FBI using an internal source at AT&T, Mr. Boyd Jackson, who is not associated with the GLDC working group. Names him. Mr. Boyd Jackson, who is not associated with the GLDC working group. That's how Cyree is telling the judge, this is how they obtained. And I'm thinking to myself, well, God, okay, so Ashley still is over here. She's like, Ashley's going to try to claim that she did not know any of this, right? She was an investigator. She had no idea what they were doing. Oh my God, how would I know this? Okay, that's her, I'm all in. And this is I had no idea. Okay, but mind you, we just went through the timeline of Ann Taylor tells Ashley Jennings in a motion that she knows. But now the question is, knowing something and proving something are two totally different things. Okay? So it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And so Ashley Jennings pushed her cards in. You're not going to be able to prove any of this. Come get it. Ready? Now, Cyree says that GLDC was not used to obtain this data. A forensic examination of the AT&T timing advance records in the state's possession show Mr. Jackson's association with the reports. And the only way his name would be on those motherfucking things is if you did it which way? Hippler, are you able to follow along? Did Cyree break it down step by step by step for you? You know, because you struggle to just throw in these, oh, that could have just been this, or that doesn't mean this, and that doesn't mean this. Cyree read all of those orders and saw that Judge Hippler needs a kindergarten breakdown. And Cyree provided a kindergarten breakdown. Now, there is work product in the state's possession created by the FBI, which is then, that's what they're asking for, showing it's in their control, it's in their possession, the prosecutors. When they say the states, that's Ashley Jennings' possession, showing the AT&T timing advance data was not only obtained, but goddammit, but regularly referenced and used in the course of this investigation from jump. Its existence is well known to the investigators and prosecutors. So right here, Ashley Jennings now, when she was just like, I'm going to act like I don't know about this, okay? Ashley Jennings can't act like she doesn't know about this, because right here, not only is Cyree going to say something, but he better be able to back this shit up. He's saying the investigators knew, but the prosecutors knew. And the prosecutor is the one that wrote this motherfucking motion, right? So next, Cyree then says, the state, so chain of custody. Now this is a really important word, 3 words, chain of custody. The state has provided a certificate of authenticity, which, remember, this would get anybody's eyes wide open to say, my God, it says it right here. The timing advance wasn't given. Like, it's right here. Hello. And this guy is swearing to it under the penalties of perjury, Stephen fucking Gordon. All right. So the state has provided a certificate of authenticity to defense in relation to the timing advance records described above. The certificate of authentication was created in April of 2024 and issued by Director Stephen Gordon. I have previously worked with, and I am familiar with Mr. Gordon. The COA specifically states, ready? I am qualified to authenticate the records attached here too because I am familiar with how the records were created, managed, stored, and retrieved. That's what he's saying, that he is willing to swear to. Very, very specific language. This is why when people say, Lana, you're looking into something too much. Why are you looking into it like that? Why would you ever look into it like that? I love when cops say that to me. I love when police say that. Dude, you just quabble over like the squibble and bit over the stupidest shit. What? Say it in my good ear. Say that again. One more again. No. If you don't look and dissect the language, because then if you do dissect it, then you will see what they're truly hiding and how you can go about what they're hiding. That's how you do it. Phoenix River Phoenix. Get on over to the Viper Club. Throw your dick out on the table. Come on, bud. How she's going to lose her job. In order to understand how somebody would lose their job, you have to explain how somebody would lose their job. And this is how you do that. I'm sorry that you follow mainstream media and they want to give you the 2-minute clip about, wait, what is it? Clicks on Amazon. That's right. Clicks on Amazon. Now, Cyray says, I have personal knowledge that in the event Mr. Gordon was required to testify, I have personal knowledge that in the event Mr. Gordon was required to testify in this case, or at this hearing or whenever, he will clarify that prior to May of 2023, neither he nor the AT&T GLDC working group was involved with AT&T timing advance records. He's going to testify to that. Additionally, there is forensic evidence contained within the records that indicate they were not produced by AT&T GLDC, nor were they produced in the year 2024. In reviewing this data, I contacted and communicated directly with Mr. Gordon to clarify the chain of custody related to these records. Mr. Gordon and an AT&T legal representee informed me that Mr. Gordon would not be the individual to certify these records if required to do so despite issuing the COA. Whew. So when Cyray makes his phone call over there, they realize that they are in some heaping hot shit over there at AT&T for this COA, not because it was this guy is like, okay, I'm going to get the legal people because, wait a second, they're trying to say what? Like I was reading the language, so Cyray's going to have a conversation with this guy. Hey, and from the conversation with the legal representative now, like legal, like not legal beagle over there, fucking $13 a month. The big wigs, they need to protect the company, the lawyers, the big lawyer firms. So this legal representative that informed Cyray that Mr. Gordon would not be the individual to certify these records if required to do so, despite issuing the COA. In my review of this information, there is evidence to suggest the chain of custody involving these records and the COA were produced well outside of AT&T's normal practice. Are you fucking serious? There is missing information and data associated with this request. What? Let me read that one more time for y'all. In my review, he says, of this information, there is evidence to suggest the chain of custody involving these records and the certificate of authentication were produced well outside of AT&T's normal practice. There is missing information and data associated with this request to do all this, okay? Basically what Stephen Gordon signed off on. The prosecution the prosecution's prior claim that AT&T timing advance data did not exist in 2022 further complicates this issue. It is my expert opinion that any testimony proffered on behalf of the FB motherfucking I or AT&T on this matter would clearly reveal these issues. We got a problem. A big problem. Evidence in direct contradiction to the state's motion. They lawyered up. AT&T went and looked like they lawyered up Stephen Gordon. In my review of this investigation, like this case, I have read numerous emails sent and received by law enforcement pertaining to their investigation. You know how you communicate. One such email dated 11/15/2022 was sent to prosecutor Ashley Jennings at her Latah County government email address. This email is from Moscow Detective Lawrence Mowry. The email is informing 11/15, 2 days after the murder, 2 days after the homicides. The email is informing Miss Jennings of Detective Mowry's recent contact with FBI Special Agent Nick Balance. Special Agent Balance informed Detective Mowry that AT&T can provide timing advance data and to make sure it is listed in the search warrant. Detective Mowry is specifically asking right here, please. Detective Mowry is specifically asking Prosecutor Jennings to make sure the AT&T timing data is listed in the warrant. Ashley Jennings wrote the motherfucking warrant. You guys know the all the lives, all the hearings where Ashley Jennings gets up. Detective, okay, we're going to ask you some questions, you know, whether it's on, I think it's been mostly on cross because they've been Ann Taylor's witnesses. But do you guys remember that exchange where Detective Mowry says, I did this because you told me? Remember that? I did this because you told me. Remember that? Well, what the email is suggesting is that if you roll back the tape and you listen to that question, answer dialogue, it would be very, very obvious now that Jennings and Mowry and Payne, they all know exactly how everything happened. And if Jennings was the one that was writing up the search warrant, and it was on the top of the head, it said, Detective Mowry swears under the penalties of perjury. Remember all that stuff? And it was like, why is this, this is Payne's name, but it has Detective Mowry on top. And it was just a big clusterfuck. And it's like, how can they how is this bad, sloppy? Like, what the fuck is going on? And Ashley's like, it's a working document. Everybody was working together, blah, blah, blah. It's not, doesn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. Remember, it's like she was testifying from the bench, like from her bench. She's testifying, right? And I was like, dude, why are they letting her do this? Like, if the defense, like, well, when you know all this shit, let her walk herself into this fucking horrible, horrible situation. And so right here, Detective Mowry is specifically asking Prosecutor Jennings to make sure that the AT&T timing data is listed in the warrant. Why would Detective Mowry ever be telling Ashley Jennings, who's the prosecutor, right, to be putting this in the warrant? I thought Detective Mowry, and I thought that Detective Payne, I thought that Nick Balance, I thought that it was so. This goes back to establishing probable cause in this investigation. This is back on 11/15. Do you guys see that? On 11/15. Why is Ashley Jennings on 11/15, 2022, writing up, why is she doing search warrants? This isn't like this is not on 12/23 or 12/22 or 12/19. This is 11/15, 2022. Why would Ashley Jennings be doing this? Prior to the report ever being distributed by the working group known as GLDC, Ms. Jennings did respond to Detective Mowry's email inquiring on the specific verbiage needed to obtain AT&T timing advance. She's the one. We have emails. She would have known all of this, right? She would have known that this existed. Ann Taylor put it before she pushed in all of her chips, right? This email is abundantly clear evidence that Ms. Jennings was not only aware of the existence of AT&T timing advance in 2022, but also shows her intention to obtain it through legal process from AT&T. This email communication with prosecutor Ashley Jennings is the same prosecutor, Ashley Jennings, who filed this current and contradictory motion stating that AT&T did not produce timing advance records in 2022. So, Bella's awesome, and she's like, Lana, but come on. She has got to be the dumbest motherfucker. Why would she ever do this? And you know that you got caught, and she's going to go ahead and do, because she's riding or dying with that authenticity, blah, blah. What you think you know and what you can prove are two totally different things, okay? And by the date of Cyray's affidavit, I was like, looks like they've been working on this for a minute, because I think that the filing just came in on 3/24, that he whipped up all of this and did all of that on 3/25 to then file it and get it stamped and get it in. So this clearly was in the works for a while, in my opinion. Not saying that Cyray couldn't get it all done then. It's more of like we know what the fuck you're doing. We know what you've been doing, okay? And we know that we have to prove it. We're not fucking dummies over here, Ashley. And we know that you think that we can't, right? Because when you put this motion in, then again, and we come back and tell you that we have all this stuff, you then double down, provide the COA, put it in there, boom, here it all is. And you think that you just were like, yeah, take that. I'm backed by AT&T, right? And so we're going to ask ourselves right now, we think that Ashley Jennings that this is the first time that she's ever done this, been involved in the investigation to the point that she's involved on day 2 and writing up search warrants. So I went ahead and looked into, here's one for Ashley Banfield. I went and looked into Ashley Jennings' manifesto. I took a page out of, here you go, Banfield, take it, #manifesto. Ashley Jennings, we're going to get to it here at the end. It's very interesting. what Ashley Jennings believes in. Ashley Jennings is not some 25-year-old. Ashley Jennings is 47 years old. Okay, she's a mom, came from Texas, so she's the outsider, right? Comes from Texas, moves to Moscow in 2004. And so for the past 20 years has been what? She writes in her manifesto that women need to make up more leadership and powerful roles in law. Okay, we're going to get into it. Where the ego of Ashley Jennings comes in. But first, let's continue with shellacking the truth and showing how this is so diabolical. This email and communication with prosecutor Ashley Jennings is the same Ashley Jennings who filed this current and contradictory motion stating AT&T did not produce timely advance records in 2022. Wow. There is clear and convincing evidence that not only was the FBI able to obtain timing advance records in 2022, but they did so with the knowledge of the prosecutors involved in this case. Prosecutors is an S. So if you think that Santa, hey, Santa, are you listening? You involved, buddy. Missing AT&T timing advanced. Now, these records that Ashley Jennings says that do not exist. Cyree says, in my review of this investigation and based on my training and experience, it is incredibly unusual that the defendants' AT&T timing advance records were not obtained by the FBI, because Ashley Jennings wants to say that we don't have his, remember this big part, we do not have his shit, okay? We don't have his timing advance. And what Cyree then says is, well, we just put everything that we just put out there. And now it is incredibly unusual that the defendant and his timing advance records wouldn't have been gotten in December when they did it, December 23rd. The FBI demonstrated their ability to obtain AT&T timing advance in November of 2022 by obtaining AT&T timing advance records on over 3,800 people from their mobile devices, none of them being the defendants. When it comes to location data from AT&T, timing advance data can be some of the most accurate data available. Additionally, it contains connections to the network other than the typical voice, text, and data communications. What Cyree is basically saying here is that you cannot truly think that this world is going to believe, okay, and the FBI is going to say that they did not have Brian Colbert's timing advance records, okay, the defendant, in December. But Ashley is burying these records, and one has to say, why? Why would you say that we never got them, we don't have them? But when you do have them, and if Brian Colbert is so guilty, right? Here you go. So he shut his phone off. It's going to, here, yep, there's nothing in there because there's no, you got the timing advance before you wrote up the probable cause affidavit for the search warrants involved in this case involving that man. It would reveal the date, right? Wait for it. Again, when it comes to location data from AT&T timing advance data, it can be some of the most accurate data available. Additionally, it contains connections to the network other than your typical voice, text, and data connections. That's your typical connections. AT&T goes above that. This allows law enforcement to not only see more data, but more accurate data. Anytime a defendant's locations are in question, a timing advance report would be asked for as a standard operating procedure. Moscow Police Department, by way of the FBI and with the knowledge of prosecutors, demonstrated their awareness of this standard procedure when they obtained AT&T timing advance data on the over 3,800 mobile devices with the data dump that they did November 15th when they got that search warrant. And it came back on, I forget if it was November 16th, and it came back on November 17th. You know, when they wrote in the probable cause affidavit, they said they went back and looked at the data dump and Brian Koberger's number wasn't in there. So he's not in the vicinity of this area during 3 to 5. When detectives and prosecutors requested and served 2 different search warrants to AT&T on the defendant's AT&T account, which happened December 23rd, they requested, it's in the language, they requested the exact same timing advance data they previously did when they obtained the 3,800 mobile devices. They also maintained the same process in utilizing the FBI to serve the legal demand on AT&T. Remember when we were all talking about why would Payne write it up, do all this stuff? Well, God, now we see that Payne didn't write it up. Mowry didn't write it up. Ashley Jennings seems like she's been producing it. She did the 11/15 one. And then here, I'm going to get it to the FBI because what? Ashley Jennings wanted to work with the FBI and be all like, I'm going to crack this case and watch me and my name's going to be everywhere. Additionally, on December 23rd, 2022, the FBI sent a communication directly to AT&T specifically detailing their request for the defendant's AT&T timing advance records. There is no reason to believe AT&T would not respond to this request, saying that they issued them. Cyray is saying that they did all of this. You're going to sit here and tell us, Ashley, that you didn't get the defendant's AT&T timing advance records? It is my expert opinion. AT&T timing advance data did exist for the defendant's AT&T mobile device in 2022. And it was requested from AT&T by the investigators involved in this case. The investigators previously demonstrated their ability to obtain AT&T timing advance data in 2022. This is where we get to the discovery. Failure to produce the defendant's AT&T timing advance data is either a gross deviation from standard practice or intentionally withheld from release in discovery. We're not talking about some Sallyport video that's so grainy that you can't, okay? We're not talking about, this is the nuts in this case because you're trying to link a car and a phone's movements throughout the night of a murder to obtain probable cause to arrest this motherfucker. Ashley Jennings has maintained that they have never obtained Brian Koberger's timing advance records from AT&T. This all started when Ashley Jennings, this all restarted up when Ashley Jennings put in a motion in limine to prohibit the defense from bringing this up in the trial. This is why everything that goes on before a trial is the most important part of a trial. This could be the difference if a guilty or a not guilty. And not just in this case, in every case. Ashley Jennings, personal knowledge, personal involvement, had the audacity to write a motion limine for the AT&T timing advance records, never be able to be discussed and mentioned to the jury at all. Conclusion. It is my expert opinion in reviewing all the evidence that has been disclosed by the state. All the evidence that has been disclosed by the state. Do you see the words all the evidence that has been disclosed by the state? A, timing, AT&T timing advanced data was available on the defendant's phone in 2022. B, there is overwhelming evidence showing the state obtained and used AT&T timing advanced data in the course of this investigation in 2022 on over 3,800 AT&T mobile devices other than the defendants. There is no doubt, C, there is no doubt the author of this current motion, there is no doubt. Wait, where's little pretty pony over there? Want to know when are you going to show how Ashley Jennings lost her job? There is no doubt the author of this current motion, prosecutor Ashley Jennings, knew or should have known AT&T timing advanced data did exist in 2022. She was directly involved in the legal process obtaining it and was aware of work product created from it to further the investigation. The current motion is a deliberate misrepresentation to the court to further conceal false statements used to obtain probable cause against the defendant and conceal exculpatory evidence from discovery. I am prepared to provide witness testimony and relevant exhibits that support all my opinions contained in this affidavit. It is my belief this evidence is beyond clear and convincing and will be supported by any competent expert in this field who reviews all the data. This is not a battle of experts. The evidence supporting the opinions in this affidavit is overwhelming. In my nearly 30 fucking years of working with and for prosecutors all over the United States, I have never witnessed such a deliberate attempt by prosecutors to mislead the court on evidence in such plain sight. Anyone making such a claim would have to believe the court is incapable of reviewing physical evidence in possession of the state and the defense. It rises to a level beyond a simple miscommunication or an oversight and is clear and intentional misrepresentation in the hopes to conceal a much larger issue. How'd you get to Brian Kohlberger? I respectfully request the court give this affidavit the due attention it deserves and explore these issues further. Now, brings me to the work that I put in on this case over the last, 3-4 nonstop nights. I want to direct your attention to Ashley Jennings. Ashley Jennings files another explosive document that I was determined to get to the bottom of because she's absolutely off her fucking rocker. But I knew that we can prove it. We can prove it. All of you at AT&T have helped, trust me, in some capacity by either just even watching the videos, sharing the videos, being a part of the community to understand the case and find the truth. And that could be that Brian Kohlberger is the person that killed 4 innocent students. Now, Ashley Jennings speaks about a 4:01 a.m. Ridge Road vehicle that she knew was the identification vehicle for labeling this thing a Honda Elantra. Okay? If I was Ashley Jennings, by the way, I'd resign. I pulled the last 177 cases that Ashley Jennings has done. $177 of Ashley Jennings' last cases. I wanted to know every name of every defendant. That's what I'm doing now. But what I've done the past couple other days is look into the 4:01 a.m. Ridge Road sighting, but more importantly, Ashley Jennings, and in these documents, they say that at 3:56 a.m., which I'm going to share right now. Okay. Ashley Jennings goes so far as to mislead the courts. On every aspect of this case. So I want you to see something. This is the vehicle leaving at 4:20 and 47 seconds. Okay. Well, first of all, Linda Lane, the footage from Linda Lane that's missing from 3:35 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. to 4:06 a.m. is vital. And I don't know if it's missing because it's like sealed or whatever, or somehow they moved it all. Like if they sealed it off for us to all see, or if somebody got to that video and deleted it. I don't know yet. We'll find out. But in this case, there's a very important. Well, I wondered why Ashley Jennings, first of all, was having such a hard time getting her expert disclosures in. Expert disclosures are to say what the opinion is of the evidence and these reports. And so Ashley Jennings wasn't getting these in. Okay. Well, Syray basically shows us why. We have no idea how Nick Balance truly feels about things. So I'm curious to see if he's going to ride or die, if what he's been involved in, if he can do X, Y, or Z, or if he can steer clear of all this mess. But I want to point to you guys, it's really interesting, that this is the FBI report that has everything to do with the make model of this, and it's called questioned vehicle. Okay. The questioned vehicle. The FBI had never said that this was suspect vehicle. And so the first thing that I want everybody to understand is that when this was delivered to these FBI agent to actually review the material, on November 19th, there was a batch of videos, and it never said, as you can see in the report. So here's November 19th. It says date items were received. 19th, 21st, November 23rd, December 7th, December 20th. Okay. December 19th, it's labeled by this, but do you notice how it has no address? You're just literally giving somebody here from these clips or videos. This is the question car. What's the vehicle's make and model? So on 11/19 and then 11/21, we get this little, see that right there? Balcony video. Well, I believe that the balcony video is this video. It's my hunch. But how these were given to the FBI for this person to Immel to give a description of the vehicle, of what it was, it's really important to understand how it was given to him. Okay. It wasn't like, here, this is the, you could see in his report how he's stating it. Items submitted. It was this, and I got 7 MP4 videos, balcony video depicting questioned vehicle, received 11/21/2022. Okay. 5 MP4 videos and 2 videos depicting questioned vehicle, received electronically on 11/19. 1 AVI, on 12/17 or 12/7. Multiple images and videos depicting questioned vehicle received electronically on 11/23. Okay. And then 3 AVI videos and 2 Word documents depicting questioned vehicle received electronically on 12/20/2022. Okay. So when he would get this batch, he would, in quotes, says, go down to my opinion section. Okay. But the submitted videos and images were electronically processed to identify the questioned vehicle's make, model, and year from each individual batch. 7 vehicle make, model charts were produced. 7. See the opinion section for the results of the examinations. The submitted videos on November 9th, this is his report. The submitted videos on November 19th and November 21st, 2022 were reviewed to determine the questioned vehicle's make, model, and year. Due to insufficient image detail and obscured views produced by the blooming of the vehicle's headlights, it coming towards you. Do you see that it says, due to insufficient image detail and obscured views produced by the blooming of the vehicle's headlights, the make, model, and year could not be determined? This would be the 1112 King Road camera. Undisputed. But we should be asking ourselves, why is he referring it to the submitted videos on November 19th and November 21st? Like, why isn't he writing the videos from address, blah, blah, camera, at this point, at this time? You want to be talking about doing something like, dude, if I just realized I could write up reports like this, fuck. But then I said to myself, why? Oh, it's because of how it was submitted. It's because of how it was submitted. The submitted videos on November 23rd, 2022 were reviewed to determine the questioned vehicle's make, model, and year. The questioned vehicle shares similar class characteristics with a 5th generation Honda Elantra between 2011 and 2013. And I'm like, okay, we have to figure out, what was he provided on November 23rd, 2022? Well, that's where you look no further than the emails that Ann Taylor provided for Frank's hearing, where these emails showed right underneath it here, in this, it says November 23rd, 2022. Subject, 451 Paradise Stills. Attachment, a 329 timestamp, and it's at 11125 Ridge Road, screenshot. Attachment at 329, the 1125 Ridge Road MP4. So it's like you got a little clip, and that's at 4:01 a.m. 1125 Ridge Road screenshot, 4:01, and the 1125 Ridge Road MP4. So everything is at 4:01 a.m. Okay. And with the exception of right here at 3:29 a.m. a still. It's all from see 1125 Ridge Road screenshot. 3:29 a.m. Then 3:29 Ridge Road MP4. So we have 3:29 a.m. We have it in both a still and a video, and we have it in a still and a video, and it's all 1125. Okay. Got a great one. The submitted videos on November 23rd were reviewed to determine. So now it's 1125. Okay. So now here's the most important part of this. On November 26th, 2022. Okay, so first of all, it's not anything that has to do with 1112 King Road, which is right outside. So I need you guys to see now where actually this Ridge Road area is, and that Ashley Jennings, who has lived in this town since 2004, when she had the audacity to get up and say to the judge, who's in Ada, that, yeah, it's at 3:56, we're showing you a vehicle coming forward. So here, I've always wondered why this matters, or why they did this. Why are we seeing the 3:56 and 30-second still? Why aren't we seeing the 4:04 or 4:06, whatever time it's coming in there? Okay, 4:04. Why are they showing us this? So Ashley Jennings, the defense is saying the vehicle was not identified from surveillance footage in the area of 1122 King Road. And Taylor specifies to say the surveillance footage comes from a residence of 1112 King Road. It depicts the corner of King Road and King and Queen, and you can see the that footage from the lights in the vehicles you can see on Walenta. But this video right here, or this still in the video that's taken here, this was never used to identify anything. In fact, the blooming light, this is exactly what he was given to say that he could not identify anything. The blooming light. Okay, so this is the 3:56 and 30-second entry in. This is what we see. Where's the 4:04? And this is why it matters. Ashley Jennings then goes on to tell us all, and Hippler, that 3:58, yes, there's then the car on Ridge Road at 4:01, and it's right there. It's 0.3 miles away. It's the same car. But now and when the vehicle leaves at 3:58 and it's coming out, like when it has to leave. So here, this is it arriving, and then it's then going to depart and leave, and it's over here, and it goes left around Walenta this way, and you can see like the lights over here. That's at 3:58, okay? And some change. Now, I said to myself, first of all, why aren't we seeing the vehicle leave on a picture? But more importantly, why aren't we seeing the 4 o'clock entry at 4:04? like, fuck this car, right? Fuck this car. Why aren't we seeing the 404? So then I wanted to make sure that Homeboy didn't review anything else, that he could label anything. And he says, nope, whatever they gave me on December 7th, couldn't make it out. Oh, and then December 20th, whatever they gave me, which is the WSU stuff, that's the 5th generation 2014 to 16 was at WSU. So then it brought me to my work. So 1112 never ID'd this car as being that, especially at the 404 time of entering. And then they just show us this leaving. Well, do you see right here? Right here, what's this? So right here, you can see like a bunch of cars are lined up. Like this is the car that's parked there, but on the street, you can see like these cars that are along. Do you guys see this right here? So this is the car that they're saying here is leaving. What's this? Just so we're clear, this is not the whole vehicle. This looks like it's lights on from a car that's on the road here. You see this car right here? It's in this line perfectly here. See that? Looks like headlights that are on, right? And a vehicle that's in this parking spot. See that? So this is 4:20 and 47 seconds. That's what this is. Oh, leaving at a fast rate of speed. This is the car. And this was the same car that came in at 404, but I've never seen a picture of the 404. I'm gonna tell you why we've never seen a picture of the 404. So Ashley Jennings tells us all, Prosecutor Jennings fails to show how any video before 4:01 a.m. at 1125 Ridge Road is actually relevant to the prosecution of Brian Kober, because why does it matter if you have the 401 and then what she does is she says this. She says she says the videos capture footage in the middle of the night from approximately 3:35 a.m. to 4:07. So here she's now cutting off the 3:26 a.m. sighting, whereas the Indian Hills, which is the one that has the no license plate. Now that somehow has managed to drop off. Okay. And so she says the videos capture footage in the middle of the night from approximately 3:35 a.m. to 4:07 a.m. This is Ashley Jennings. When there is light vehicle traffic, especially in the Moscow, Idaho area. You know, she lives there. From the review of the surveillance videos, investigators were able to determine the suspect vehicle's path of travel based on the witnessed direction of travel associated with the timestamps. From the review of the 1125 Ridge Road video, which admittedly provides the best view of the suspect vehicle. Investigators were able to determine that the suspect vehicle shared similar class characteristics to a 5th generation Hyundai Elantra between 2014 to 2015. What does that have to do with the 111? But it doesn't share with that, correct, Ashley? This video was taken at 4:01 a.m., approximately 0.3 miles from the crime scene. Based on the 1125 Ridge Road surveillance and the other video surveillance, investigators can determine the suspect's path of travel as follows. Now, this is where I come into play. Well, Ashley, we got to back this all up. First of all, you have listed at 356 and at 358 that this suspect vehicle made a loop and left at 3:58 and 30 seconds. And then when it left, it's coming out and it goes this way at 3:58 and 23 seconds. See that? It went west, up and back around Walenta. All right. So I went ahead and she wants us to just, Jennings fails to show how the 1125 Ridge Road video, which is it's the question vehicle, is the same as the quote unquote suspect vehicle seen arriving in the immediate area of 1122 King Road at 3:56 a.m. and departing at 3:58 a.m. per the 112 King Road balcony camera. And it leaves out and comes west, and it's at 3:58 and 23 seconds. And Ashley Jennings says it's 3 minutes. Just like, so it's going to get over there at 4:01 and whatever within the 3 minute time frame. And then it takes 3 minutes to then get back over to then be coming in at 4:04. I want to see the 4:04 picture. I'm going to tell you why right now. Jennings fails to show the path of travel of the 3:58 a.m. suspect vehicle after departing the immediate area of 1122 King Road. Why this matters is because 451 Paradise address here, if it's leaving out west like this, it's going on Walenta, okay, goes down around like this, comes down. It would have passed the 451 Paradise 2 cams here, because then it's coming down and then it wraps like this. It's Paradise this way. It's still Walenta, and it's going to come down, and it's going to come here to Ridge Road, which is right here at 1125. This is the building that the camera comes from. And basically, it's going to turn around, and then it's just going to drive back and then be back over there at 4:04. But what Ashley shows is here is the path of travel beginning at 4:01 and 25 seconds, I think it is, or 4:01 and 30 seconds. She just plops it right down here on Ridge Road. And I said, you know, I was there a couple times, and I swear there was medians. There was motherfucking medians. So Jennings fails to show the path of travel 3:58 a.m. from King to get over there to be on this Ridge Road. Jennings fails to show any image of the departure of the vehicle at 3:58. Jennings fails to show that Lauder has a median between the single lane street. I'm going to show you guys where the 4:01 a.m. question vehicle is seen on camera footage. This is not a road that you can U-turn on. Jennings fails to show that Taylor has a median between the single lane road as well. This is another area that you cannot just make this U-turn, because you will fucking go across and into, you're going to have flat tire. Median's in the middle. But Jennings also then fails to show that the 3:58 a.m. suspect vehicle is not seen on 451 Paradise shop camera or the house camera in an attempt to travel to 1125 Ridge Road, as seen before when traveling this route. Jennings fails to show that if the 3:58 a.m. suspect vehicle attempted to take Walenta and pass by 451 Paradise, that it would have also had to pass by 1125 Ridge Road camera, apartment 108, when it is actually heading north on Ridge Road first, before being seen on the Ridge Road camera heading south after being on Lauder, coming south then east, then now south on Ridge Road. Jennings, as a Moscow resident and frequent driver of Taylor and Lauder, would have known that in order for the 1125 Ridge Road question vehicle to arrive at that starting point and be the 3:58 a.m. suspect vehicle leaving the King Road immediate area, it would need to have gone east on Taylor, not west. But the 3:58 a.m. vehicle, it goes west, as the FBI report shows. And it's seen on Willanta from the headlights driving from the 1112 King Road camera. Jennings does not mention any camera from 1320 or 1330 Linda Lane as providing any footage between 3:58 a.m. and 4:01 a.m. to connect the 3:58 a.m. suspect vehicle to the 4:01 a.m. 1125 Ridge Road questioned vehicle. Also, if you go out there to try to grab, hey, Jeff, this one's for you, buddy. Woo! Shaking it right here for you. If you go out and check the Linda Lane, we are missing from 3:30 to 4:06 footage to be able to see from the dumpster view down the little road of Linda Lane, so you were able to see all of Taylor. Next, 1125 Ridge Road questioned vehicle is coming into frame from south on Lauder and then east on Lauder, the way that this little dip does. I'm going to show, we're going to go into Google Maps here with a quick right onto Ridge. This means that this vehicle has to have come from 95 to Taylor to Lauder, or from on campus across the way where the sorority and frat Greek Road Nez Pierce is, or from the 3:47 departure of the cops in the hybrid over there at Identity. It would take to do from 3:58 leaving out west to get to where the 401 sighting is 8 to 11 minutes. And I'll show you why. Because of the area that Ashley Jennings should know so much of, it's 8 minutes probably at that time of night. So let's go ahead and take a look. So it would be impossible for the 404 sighting when it's coming in, and we have not, I still have yet to see a picture of this, for that to be the 401 Ridge Road vehicle. So let's go to Google Maps. Google Maps. Google Earth. All right. Welcome to Ridge Road. How this works is this is the building that produced the camera. I was able to find right here on the corner end. So this is Ridge Road is literally only this little turn right there that you see before you get to like the ridge, like when it turns up here, it then becomes just, it's Walenta. Okay, see that? So right here, Ashley Jennings says at 40, see this? This is right here, 401. That right here, see where that truck is? Basically, that this white Elantra, see this camera? There's a camera that was right into that window. You guys see this median right here? Okay. So coming down, this is Lauder here. This is Lauder. And so this camera that was on this house, right here in this window, right over here, the vehicle is coming down. This means when it's heading south on Lauder, it says heading south and east, okay? So where we're at right here, do you guys see this is what it looks like? This is Lauder. And what's going to be right there is going to be Taylor, right where the school is. All right, this is very, very critical for Ashley Jennings and her fucked up shit. Okay. In order to do what Ashley Jennings is saying, all right, this 401 vehicle, okay, do you guys see how this median's here? Now this is Taylor. Right there off to the right, that's Banfield and that's Sigma Chi. This is Taylor. If you continue to go down this street, up on your left is going to be King, okay? So do you guys see these medians? All right, you see all this shit? You can't, even when you're coming, look at this, even when you are coming from Taylor over here, which is I'm going to show you, you can't to say, oh, I want to turn on Lauder here from coming from Taylor. Like I want to turn on, you see where it says do not enter? And then this is how you actually go. And you would have to go past this and either, yep, this late at night, do I want to whip a UE right here in the middle right here so that I can whoop, go Lauder like that? I'd have to whip my UE right here. Now, mind you, there is no cameras on Taylor, on Lauder, nothing right here. All right. But I want you guys to see. So what the FBI reports is that this vehicle, suspect or question vehicle 1, this is what it means when it's saying it's coming down Lauder. So if it's coming down Lauder like this, like when I say down, it's on this. This means it's heading south. Heading south. Do you see how either you would have had to come a UE, which is coming from Taylor, and whip the UE to come in like this, or you guys see across the way, okay, you have Pi-Fi's over there, you have all at Banfield, or you could be coming down Taylor and make a left into the King Road neighborhood after a couple streets, passing Linda Lane. Okay. So what this means is that the 401 car sighting, all right, I believe that when they first did this case, they had this car sighting. They were trying to track this all back, and it's 401. It's this white vehicle. It looks like it's a vehicle that could have been in the area earlier. They find this, okay, on this 11125 road in the beginning, okay. But Ashley Jennings wants to say that it's the 358 and 32nd vehicle that left. Suspect vehicle 1, that this is this vehicle. Okay. Well, I hate to break it to you, but my question is Ashley, you've lived in Moscow for fucking 20 years. How would one get to the point that the FBI is saying that they're watching video in this car okay, is coming down from here, south, and then goes, and it's where it realizes it is comes down, and then it's going to come on to this camera right here. So it knows it's came from this is what it's considering east. So it comes down south to then east, and then makes a right here. And then after it goes right past this, it completely loses it doesn't, if you continue to go straight here, it's going to come right up into 451. Come on. Hold on, I'll put myself there. Here we go, Paradise. This is, if you go back, this is the windy. So how I just was coming up and it cut me off there, and I just had to like come back in. This is coming from the Ridge Road 1125. This is the way that you would come, which is right here. And right here on this is the house. See this little intersection here? You go up that way for Walenta. But right here on the corner, see this? This big garage, that's considered the shop camera. And the house camera is by the door. So this is the Paradise 451 camera. And at 401, all right, it does not list that it catches this vehicle, which maybe it didn't catch it, awesome, whatever. But Ashley Jennings is saying that the 401 1125 Ridge Road vehicle is the 358. And so she just wants to start it at 401 to say and show, yep, it was right there and it's heading this way and it's going to come. And for whatever reason, I don't know why it didn't go on that camera, doesn't matter, but it then poof, this is the path of travel. We have it. This is the path of travel that, and I'm like, wait, fucking back the fuck up. How in the world did that vehicle at 358 in 30 seconds get to be heading this way on Ridge Road? And this is what Jay has been saying all along, but when you have to understand the area. So then I pumped into our system here. All right, let's do this. Let's show the world how long this would truly take. If you were to leave up out of King over here, like they say, come down, come out, 358, then seen on the camera right here of my headlights from the balcony again. So it's 358 and what is it? Yep, 30 some seconds. Well, you have to go like this. You come around Walenta over here. Come down. This is still Walenta here. Down here. Down. Back out just a little bit. See over here is Paradise. You'd come down. And then instead of going on Walenta this way to go down a ridge like that, because remember I said it doesn't have it going 1125. It doesn't have it coming north. Okay, the car never comes north. You have to go down Sunny Day right here, all the way like this. Come out over here. See Transportation Department highways right here. So I pumped in all these points so that I could create how long this would take. Then I would have to come right here. And then I would come and make a left here. And this is me being on 95. Here's the Moscow Police Department. Okay. I have to come like this, keep coming. And then I can't even go right here. Okay. I have to go to the next one. up here, which is coming from, in order to then turn left on Taylor. And like I said, I can either, oh, I'm sorry, this one's Taylor. Come through like this so that I can come down like this, and I'd have to make a U-E like that. Or I could turn around over here to then come like that if I don't want to. But that is the only way that I could get for my vehicle to be facing and doing everything, because the camera doesn't catch it, you know. It just, Ashley Jennings just plops it down, and it's coming, like I just showed you guys, south, then east on Lauder. So south on Lauder, then east, and then a quick right to then keep going south on this little ridge area. And then it comes up and around. It's going to go the back way to Walenta. Ashley Jennings, you're 100% correct that the 401 and however many seconds, could you make it from ridge at 401 and 25 seconds to the house in 3 minutes? Sure could. But what you cannot do is leaving up out of that house at 3:58 and 23 seconds, travel like I just showed you guys, and be at Ridge Road at 4:01 and 20 some seconds. Impossible. It'll take you 8 minutes. It will take you 8 fucking minutes. The only way that could happen, the 358 car in 23 seconds when it would have left, it goes west though, is for it to have gone left, decided in the middle of its path to Walenta, did a U-turn, comes back and is the headlights back, then comes around and goes along Taylor to then come up from, which would pass on the Linda Lane, okay, and then come down that way. But I'll tell you that didn't happen, because Ashley Jennings would show that. She would show that 1320 Linda Lane has a car lights flashing, like how she did with the earlier stuff. So everybody that's wondering why Linda Lane is not available to be seen from 3:30 until 4:06 is because of everything that I'm talking about right now, and where the 401 Ridge Road vehicle truly came from. Because if you're going to watch, now I want to show you what the Linda Lane footage, the dumpster view, it'll show you all of that lovely, lovely Greek area and every car that turns on and when it's moving. And you can just see that it's moving. You know, we can't make out any vehicles, but we can see that the headlights there's a car moving. So there is, without a doubt, no way in fucking hell that the 358 car, take that and put in your pipe over there, gray hues. The 358 car is not the same as the 401. And I want to see the vehicle that's coming in at 404, and I want to see what it looks like. No car was identified, and because they are unidentifiable, from the 1112, okay, camera. And everything was identified from 1125 Ridge Road. That is not the crime scene. That is not in the immediate area, okay? This is without the 345 sighting when the white Elantra, the Nancy Grace, when I call it, the Inside Edition one, is seen leaving on the mobile gas station camera. That's not, that's another vehicle. So I've at least identified 3 vehicles that they're unable, that this is the killer's car supposedly. The 401. Where's the picture that the 404 car coming in there? I want to see what it looks like. But the 401 car is not the 358 car. And I will go toe-to-toe with anybody on that. why Ashley Jennings would have just said in an open court hearing, Your Honor, we have, like, remember how Ann Taylor's over here saying there is no continuous video. You're not even able to pass them off. This vehicle at 358, when it turns left and goes up Walenta, do you know what normally when a car you can't find anymore? It's that it went into a fucking driveway. It went to somebody else's house. This 358 departure, she just is poof making it this 401 Ridge Road. And what she's failing, and this is what Antonio needs to show, is that the FBI have it on camera, though, not just that it starts at Ridge Road 401, that it could have been coming down Lauder from the west. You know, it's coming south on Lauder, then the east, and then so in order to be over there, I just showed you guys, this car wasn't flying through houses and flying through fucking medians and fucking blowing out its tires to then go kill 4 fucking people. This is absurd. They knew it. They knew it. And what Ann Taylor is trying to say and show when she's saying that this is actually irrelevant material. There's no relevancy here. This isn't the vehicle. We're going to show you that it's not the vehicle. I mean, I hope to God they do that. But when Ashley Jennings starts at 401, that tells me everything that she can't connect dick. But I wanted to prove it. And it's proven. So type in these addresses. Oh, wait, here I have it. Type in the following addresses on your personal device and make this. Let's see. Your personal. Here we go. Okay, type in. Oh, here, I'll just send my own pictures. Okay, type in 1122 King Road. Take out your cell phone, type in 1122 King Road. Then type in Constagna Drive, and you want to use address. You should just be able to put that in. Then the next one you want to put in is, oopsies, the trucking. Oops. The True North Moving Company. In between that, if it doesn't take you all the way on Palouse, put in the Palouse Ice Rink before you put in the True North Moving Company, because you want to take this exact route. Then put in, then type in 1125 Ridge Road. And what I was able to notice when I was doing this myself is I was like, why is it going past where I need to go? And I was like, oh my God, it's showing me that I have to go up and past this to then be able to come down. You can't just turn a left. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to put Lauder in there. Put in a 361 Lauder. It's going to take, it's an 8-man drive. James, if there's a award for making professionals look absolutely, this is just sick. This is so sick. So, and you can pretty much see it on this screen. Let me back out or zoom in or, see it over here. So over here is like, the cinema house. I want you guys to see this. All right, so this is the Linda Lane. So when you're looking at the camera from this angle, all this stuff that's happening off and around here, you can see like cars that are traveling. You see how you can't get over here. So when you see a car that's driving like this and it takes off, it has to go off this way and go like around the golf course out over here. See all that? So, but what you can see is this is Sigma Chi here. These other frats is when you're coming this way, it literally is so this is Linda Lane. So you can see kind of what you're looking at when you have this camera view. When you see cars that are traveling like this, they're coming, and that's that right here is Lauder. Right here, this little, when you got to do the dip down like this, come right here. This is Taylor. And so when you're over here at Linda Lane, right here, these are the Queen Road apartments here. Camera angle here. This is the camera angle. There's a dumpster right there. This is what you're looking at that's out happening over here. So when cars are, especially when cars are coming from the west to the east on this road and turn this way, it's like we want to know what's going on with that car. Where's that car headed? Because it's headed as a possibility to come right over here to be the car then on Lauder, to come down to be right here on Ridge Road. Ridge Road, by the way, it's just from this point to this point. That's it. After you get past this building, it's Walenta. That's why it's so confusing when you hear that, like these streets, like you're thinking, oh my God, I had to go to this. No, it's so, but in order for the car to be coming down here, as you can see, there's the median in between it. And you just can't, like Ashley Jennings just wants to say and act like this car is just plopped right here in the middle. Bitch, please. How the fuck did that car get facing motherfucking south, Ashley? Okay. And my argument is that when it would have been, if it would have been coming north first to then just pull like a Yui right here, all right, the FBI wouldn't be saying that we have a vehicle that's coming down from Lauder this way, south, then it's going east, and then it turns right onto Ridge right here. And this is right here is the camera angle that we're able to get it when it's facing right like that. That's it before it turns right. Okay. And it's like, Ashley, explain to the world, you live in Moscow. I'm calling your office on Monday. You're going to explain to the world how a vehicle coming down from here with medians and shit, and a median right out here on Taylor, how the fuck that car is your fucking 358 and 30-second vehicle. You're a fucking liar. Okay. And your ass is grass. This is not Ashley's first rodeo. Okay. And it's ridiculous. It's sick. Heather, I disagree. I disagree that Hitler doesn't get it. I think Cyray made it perfectly clear that this is beyond the he's making excuses. So you are now, Hitler, either part of the problem or you're going to be part of the solution. Okay? There is no more that you could possibly misunderstand this or that or whatever. Okay? So I think that Cyree made that perfectly clear in that affidavit. So I think that when you can read those orders, Heather, at least when I do, I've never seen somebody making more motherfucking arguments in an order than that man. He made more arguments for. Now you guys can maybe see why the state, like Ashley and them, didn't want this to get kicked out of Moscow. Okay, but I will say this, Judge, if you go back and look at the orders, thank God he made some of the orders that he did. And I think a lot of people out there would be like, well, I fucking welcome Judge right now. Because of exactly what Ashley just said. Like, how are we going to break this down for Hitler? Also, I believe that the jury, if this even goes to a trial, the jury needs to have a field trip. And I think this is what Ann Taylor knew, is the House, we need the jury to come on a field trip to do what Ashley Jennings is saying happened here. That the 358 vehicle is the 401. And we're going to show you that it's not. Also, we have a cop undercover vehicle. We have other cops, around. I can't wait to hear how many cameras were not, like, they didn't go and get certain things. They worked backwards. So if you think about this, if you're going to investigate this, and you guys we're all investigators on this case, we have to work backwards, right? So if we believe that the car that left up out of there, if that's the image that we have, how do we know what car left at 420? We have no idea what car left at 420 and some crazy seconds, right? We have no idea of what vehicle left at 420. They're saying that the vehicle that left at 420 is the same vehicle that came in at 406. You can't even see a vehicle at 420. Isn't that nuts? Think about that. What vehicle left at 420? What vehicle truly left at 420? Then this vehicle that leaves at 420, you guys, it just poof, it's gone. Like, meaning they use the 1112 King Road camera to see that it's coming back on the backside of Walenta. So they're saying, we know that it went west. And then this is what they put in the affidavit, that we are unable to see it on any other camera through that back neighborhood, meaning this, back through here. All aboard. We are unable to see it on any. So when you back out, and when it would have had to leave out, comes down around like this. They're saying that when you back all this area, that there's no sightings of all these streets, And so the way that they're saying he came out around this car, comes down through here, okay, came down here. Now, well, how do I couldn't have done that. So I have to come back. I have to come down to here. Okay. Oh, I just continued on this way. Look at none of these houses caught any vehicle leaving. They have it on nothing. So it's just like, out of my training and experience, it came out down this way, left out Constagna, which is over here, and then went which way? You have to still go. This is why it's great. Verse. Pullman's over here, right? So it's coming out over here. So wouldn't it be really important? You guys remember Ann Taylor asking, did you go and do you know these places over here in Main Street over here? right by where the police department is, but it's just a little bit past it. Oh, I think we went too far right here. Right here. Mm-hmm. The church, Christ Church. Is that Christ Church over there? Damn, that's back over there, isn't it? What do we got over here? But because we can't find the vehicle, it's not on any cameras, then that means that the person had to have left out a certain way, they're saying. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Why couldn't it be just as that the vehicle went and parked somewhere? Because they live right there. Like, for example, at fucking, I don't know, the Moyer's house. All right. What they think that they're going to tell this jury, again, I don't know. Right now, I don't even know if it's going to go to a jury. I mean, Ashley Jennings, like, has it been really quiet out there on the streets since this has dropped? Have you guys heard anything on mainstream media? Have the parents said anything of any of the kids? Have you guys heard anything since this has dropped? I mean, this is wow. Have you guys heard anything? Oh, so, okay. Thank you so much, Senor. Tiny baby goats. $25. Thank you tremendously for your breakdown of the docs. You're very welcome. Woohoo! Have you lifted my tits, girl? Yes. Ashley Jennings tried to throw her dick and tits all in. Can you believe that, though? But no, this is what she's like, okay, prove it. You may know something, but you're not going to be able to prove it. Oh, they're going to be able to prove it. Michelle. Thank you. Karen! 20 people turned green because of Karen. This case is a bust. The state and the courts have it in for BK. It's a lost cause. The evidence for innocence just goes unnoticed, I think, and gets buried by the state, and the judge just lets it happen, Mr. Let it happen, Hitler. I think that this is... Oh, Karen! This is a different situation here. Lana, can the prosecution team be held for perjury? Well, have you guys noticed that nobody's put in any like affidavits or anything? When's the last time you seen Ashley Jennings or Bill Jennings put in an affidavit? When have they ever made a declaration? Where are their declarations? $999.99. 20 gifted memberships. Debbie does Dallas. Debbie doll. Dana. Woo! Yes, Farmer. Ashley Jennings is a witness. Can I get a witness? Ashley Jennings is a witness. Ashley Jennings. I mean, I wish I could call right now. I'll call the Daily News and ask them if their husband has any fucking comments to your wife's complete fuckerage. Just to prove this all, we're going to go live from Moscow here tomorrow, and we're going to take the route. You guys can get all your like stopwatches out and time it, but we're going to do the absolute. We're going to show you that what Ashley Jennings is claiming, not that the FBI is going to claim this, but what Ashley Jennings is claiming is absolutely impossible. The 358 car is not the 401 car. None of her fucking fairy tale is fucking, it's all fucking garbage. But it's her, this is her investigation. That's what I've come to realize is there is undeniable proof that Ashley Jennings, this is her baby. This is her case. Okay. This is her investigation. She's the prosecutor. She's the cop. Well, now she's going to be in fucking, she's a witness. Turtle girl. Funny. Let me show you guys this other thing. I'd love to hear Kohlberger's side and why they chose him. You guys, how can we sit here and say that anybody was chosen? Okay. What if never in a million thousand years could you ever expect that touch DNA could have this type of an impact? That, you know, this could have been something that would have been like a more like a burying type of thing. Like no one's going to find out who did this, to like a, whoa, this went on a completely different, you know, I don't know, but there's a bigger issue. Did you guys see that in that affidavit? There is a way bigger issue that is going to be revealed here. And, you know, Ashley Jennings, oh, let me show you guys her manifesto. Fuck, that's the best part of this. Ashley's manifesto. Where is that fucking manifesto? Hold on, let me print you guys Ashley's manifesto. Here it is. Ashley's manifesto. God, fucking, what a fucking ass. You guys, it's really a manifesto. They lied about everything. So that's why I would have, like, Steve, let me go to war with you, man. Like, fucking A. I'd be at Ashley Jennings' house right now saying, what the fuck? You were right, Steve. Ashley Jennings, what the fuck have you done? Ooh, that smell. Water. Steve, sue the fuck out of these people. Okay, here we go. Ashley's manifesto. All right, so let's go like this. Welcome, Hector, again. Hector, what do you got for me? Well, I have this manifesto you want me to print out. Okay. The importance of mentors for female attorneys in Idaho. There you go. This is Ashley Jennings' manifesto, according to News Nation's Words of Manifestos. This is Ashley Jennings, yes, the same prosecutor. June 10th, 2022, by Lindsay. Ashley Jennings, published March, April 2022. The Importance of Mentors for Female Attorneys in Idaho, by Ashley Jennings. There is a special place in hell for women who don't help other women, end quote. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. Are you kidding me? She just quotes Madeleine Albright right here and says, there is a special place in hell for women who don't help other women. Career development support, assistant or mentor to help reach business goal, to achieve target concept, helping hand lift business employee to overcome obstacles, reaching the star in the sky. In 2009, my last year of law school, Carol Wells, my victim's right professor, approached me with the idea of starting a women's lawyer group at her home on Thursday nights. Carol is what Malcolm Gladwell in his book, The Tipping Point, calls a connector, a person who has a knack for making, friends and acquaintances with very different and desperate people, and then using those relationships to grow and connect those people to each other. Thankfully, my introverted ass, she calls herself an introvert. So is she an incel? Holy shit. Ashley Jennings is an incel? Wow. Ashley Jennings says that thankfully my introverted inclinations were put aside, and I agreed to meet Carol's other lady lawyer friends. Look at that, lady lawyer friends. And she puts lady in quotes there, lady lawyer friends. This group of women have met regularly for the past 13 years. I was not cognizant of the gift that Carol was giving me at the time, but now, solidly into my career, I am fully aware. This group of women mentors have become my closest friends and my sounding board for career advice. Well, we are going to be giving Carol Wells a call. Carol, hey, how you doing here, Land with Truth and Transparency? Wondering if you've been advising Ashley on her moves in the Idaho4 case. She says that she uses you for a soundboard. We would like any comments that you would like to give up. What you got? I have also benefited from the mentorship of males, namely my boss, Daddy Bill motherfucking Thompson. Daddy showed me how to do it. I have also benefited from the mentorship of males, namely my boss, Bill Thompson, Latah County prosecutor. Bill has been the elected prosecutor for 29 years. So if you guys think this is our first fucking time doing this, you are so fucking wrong. The education he provides regarding county policy, criminal law, civil law, and leadership is irreplaceable and uniquely different than that of my lady lawyer mentors. Daddy hits differently. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow, this is cringe. Daddy does it better. Of course, it is important for both men and women to have mentors. However, historically in the legal profession, especially in Idaho, men have been able to do that for each other. Networking and obtaining leadership roles have not been a problem for men. For women building a law career, there is an inclination to rely on each other, other experienced women who have walked a similar path. However, my experience is that there is value in learning from those with different experiences and perspectives. So she's like, I don't even need to learn from my women. I believe that I should learn from criminals. Let me learn from criminals. She says, including men. I love my men. Seeking very varied mentorships will allow women to become more well-rounded attorneys who will hopefully earn more seats at the leadership tables. What is a mentor? According to Marianne Bruce, former Fortune 100 division president and CEO, a mentor is an individual who, quote unquote, takes an active interest in your career, serves as a sounding board, shares their experiences and wisdom, encourages new ways of thinking, holy shit, challenges your assumptions, and helps you learn new skills. Who the fuck mentored you, Ashley? Oh my God, this is horrible. Horrible. Damn. Wow. A mentor should be someone with a similar professional goal or a mindset. A mentor can be any age, at any level, and in any field. Women are also not limited to one mentor. It is beneficial to have multiple mentors with different skill sets and life experiences. Footnote. Where's your little footer there, Ash? Female mentors who have walked a similar path are invaluable in helping women find their own way through their experiences. However, male mentors free from what? Patritional constraints? Can help women think expansively about career matters. Career, yeah, you got that career. It's all about the career, Ashley. Casey Foss, in her article, Why Women Shouldn't Rely Exclusively on Female Mentors, states, in quotes, my male mentors apply that expansive thinking to me, helping me see beyond the expectations the world places on me, and I subconsciously make place on myself as a woman. Finding a mentor. Many women want a mentor, but do not know how to ask. According to Bruce, the best way to choose a mentor is to find someone you admire. Who is Ashley's mentor? Who she's admiring? Someone who has a professional style you want to emulate, or a skill set you want to develop. Then ask that individual. Who has mentored Ashley? Come on. This is going to be the mind of a mentor. It can be as simple as approaching this person and saying, I admire the way you think and the way you work and the values you display. Would you be willing to meet me? What? Would you be willing to meet with me regularly? I believe there is much I could learn from you. Oh my God, Ashley, who have you been hanging out with? You guys, this is implicating a ton of people in her mindset. Why she thought she would fucking fabricate and manipulate evidence in a quadruple homicide case is beyond me. But is she going to blame her mentors? Find a connector, such as Carol Wells, and ask for introductions. If you are a connector, start a group and make it a point to meet and discuss successes and challenges. A mentor can always be found by identifying activities in common, lifestyle apps, things like that. So church, having something in common is the most comfortable place to start a mentorship. A coworker can also serve as a mentor. Peers can help to motivate and encourage each other while holding each other accountable for reaching goals. Lastly, many organizations have a formal mentorship program in place that employees only need to sign up to participate. Come on, guys, you can do it. Carol, what have you done? Who are the women that have been mentoring Ashley? The role of a mentor. According to James E. Meadows, co-founder of the largest woman-owned law firm in the country, there are 3 C's to being a good mentor: consult, counselor, and cheerleader. Somebody is cheering on Ashley's fuckage. Ashley, who is cheering this on? As a consultant, the mentor is someone that mentee can trust, confide in, can seek advice from, as well as provide a safe space to discuss concerns that might be uncomfortable discussing with his or her boss. Well, so her boss is her mentor. That seems like it's a conflict of interest there, Ashley. Wow. I guess she never thought to ask Ann Taylor to be her mentor. She should have. Oh, hot damn. This is Tina with What the Fuck Transition Services. What the fuck is this piece? Oh, God, crazy. I'm going to call Ann Taylor up right now, leave her a message on her voicemail and say, Miss Taylor, this is Tina with the fuck transition services. What the fuck did I just read in that side range fucking affidavit? Peace out, girl. And hang up. Ah, shit. Miss Taylor, this is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. What the fuck is going on in fucking your case right now? Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Continuing on. Counseling. Oh, wait. Where's your boss? Boss. Okay. Counseling involves understanding and listening to the mentee and then tailoring advice to fit an individual situation. Oh, God. A good mentor should brainstorm ideas and potential outcomes around specific issues. Yep, you probably should have thought about that potential outcome here. Did she really not know who Ray was? But the final decision should be the mentees, you know. It is not about a mentor feeding the answers. It is about the mentee being empowered to learn and grow in a positive direction. Mentors are also cheerleaders who provide support and champion mentees within their profession by providing encouragement, reassurance, and positive suggestions. Well, what would your mentor say now, Ashley? Doubling down? What a moron. Ashley's going to need an attorney. A good mentor should brainstorm ideas and potential outcomes around specific issues, but the final decision should be the mentees. This is Ashley's manifesto. She wrote this. This is what this is, Ashley. According to Andy Kramer, a workplace consultant, the best mentors are good listeners, good questioners, and good strategic thinkers. A bad mentor will pretend to know all the answers and will provide specific advice about how the mentee should behave. A good mentor, on the other hand, will not know all the answers. So Bill Thompson, I can see why you picked him, and will be honest about those limitations. The best mentors know how to seek out others who are better suited to deal with specific issues. Benefits to mentors. It is in the mentor's best interest to take on this role for the mentor's own career development. Shahara Sohol in quote unquote, How I Made My Tits Grow in 20 Days, advice on mentoring the next generation of law firm leaders, listed the following benefits. Number 1, mentoring develops new perspectives by working with and listening to a mentee, usually along with less experience. A mentor is exposed to new ideas and new approaches. Definitely. Mentoring enhances active listening skills, finding out what a mentee needs to grow and discovering how to help requires actively listening to what is being said. Mentoring makes the mentor a better leader. Mentoring develops the skills used as a motivator, instructor, and a communicator. Learning to lead one of 2 individuals grows in the community and the ability to many. Mentoring increases personal satisfaction. One study found that 87% of mentors and mentees feel empowered by the relationship and reported greater confidence and job satisfaction. Fucking A, I am gonna call and ask if Ashley will mentor me. Mentoring builds the future. Mentoring improves teamwork. Mentoring is a grand step towards success. Successful team building and long-term loyalty. Long-term loyalty. Mentoring builds the future. Women attorneys need mentors, especially in Idaho. This is not aging well for you, Ashley. Currently, according to the Federal Judicial Center, only 28% of all federal judges are women. Approximately 37% of all justices on state Supreme Courts are women, according to the Brennan Center for Justice at New York University. This is the same percentage of women in the legal profession in 2020, 37%. Idaho does not fare better. Idaho ranks nearly last in the nation when it comes to the percentage of women judges on the state's courts. Women make up just 30% of the members of the Idaho State Bar, 7% below the average. Only 27% of Idaho's 95 magistrate positions are women. So you went ahead and you fucked over Meghan Markle. Awesome. You got Meghan Markle to probably buy into your fucking bullshit. The Idaho Court of Appeals has some parity with 2 women, judges, Molly and Jessica, respectively. And the Idaho Supreme Court has 2 women out of the 5 justices, Robin and Colleen, Colleen with 2 L's. However, studies have found that women have been graduating from law schools at rates near those of men for approximately 2 decades, but yet are not advancing in the same rates. And Ashley was about to do something about it. Ashley is pissed that women are not advancing in the same rates as men. Women mentoring women is critical for women to gain access to opportunities in what is still a male-dominated legal environment and the leadership level. With mentorships, more women will rise to senior positions of leadership, creating diversified leadership teams. A growing body of research shows the benefits of having women leaders. Studies show women often have a broader perspective, broader shoulders, broader ass, increase innovation, consider the line of the rights of others. What? Consider the of the rights of others. What? Consider it of the rights? What? Ashley, you are totally fucking up it all for our women. Ask questions. They ask questions and take a more cooperative approach to decision making. The fuck, Ashley? This approach has led to increased positive outcomes for businesses with women at the decision making table. Fuck you, Ashley. You're fucking it all up for us. Ashley, put on some goddamn Nikes. Let's go fucking play some horse. Let's play a round of 9. Let's play 18. Come on. You're 40 fucking 7 years old. What the fuck have you done? To create parity, in its imperative that members of the bar, both men and women, help pave a smoother road for the women coming up the bar to guide them through their career and help them obtain leadership positions, which will ultimately benefit the entire Idaho State Bar. Fuck you, Ashley. Ashley realized that she needed to play good old boy ball. Ashley wants to take over Bill Thompson's position, he was retiring. Well, she just blew her dick off for doing that. That's not happening. Bio. Ashley Jennings graduated from the University of Idaho College of Law in 2010. She is currently the senior deputy prosecutor for Latah County. She also an adjunct professor for the University of Idaho College of Law, teaching domestic violence and the law. Ashley Jennings, my next hire for my next public speaking event. Ashley Jennings, we welcome her. Well, Ashley, I've seen you've been in the footsteps of Santa Claus for the past couple years since you've began at the prosecutor's office. Yes, I always sit on Santa's lap and ask him for a couple favors, Okay. So Santa really brought you home a really big Christmas gift on December 23rd, right? When you got those AT&T timing advance reports. Talk about Christmas come early, huh? All right, guys. That is Ashley's manifesto. So Ashley's all about empowering women and seeing them grow in the leadership. And now she just blew it all up. Ruining it for our women. Ann Taylor writing an email. Ashley, I'm surprised to see this email that you just sent me here. Asking me to stipulate to a fucking dollhouse. You and Bill Thompson want to go play fucking dollhouse. Wow. All right, guys. Any other last questions? Oh, Lana, are you going to talk about the DeSales email? That's a bomb. Yes, and I'm going to save that for a live that I'm going to do later, so that way it doesn't get watered down in this mess. Because it's way too good. The DeSales email is a bombshell. So Ashley Jennings finds herself, I want to do a citizen's arrest. So I've reached out to some citizens in Idaho and asked them, how do we perform a citizen's arrest for Ashley Jennings? Manipulating, fabricating evidence, obstruction of justice. There's a fucking shit ton of criminal she's violated the criminal codes in Idaho. So can we get a citizen's arrest? You know what? Let's just call Moscow Police Department and ask them how you perform a citizen's arrest. That's a good way to do this. We'll just call and ask them. Give a shout out to those of you guys on Cash App. Thank you so much. Donna, whoop, whoop, $5 holla. Yeah. Donna. Oh, Donna. Oh, Donna. Ashley was a name. Let's go ahead and give him a call. My throat. Moscow Police Department. God, are they not in today? Because they're never there. Can I even call? Office is closed. It opens that Monday at 8 a.m. Well, I guess we'll just leave a message.
Police Affairs Dispatch.
Hi, I have a question. What's your guys' protocols to doing a citizen's arrest?
That's a good question. I'm not familiar up here at Dispatch, and unfortunately, the records department, the front desk, is closed until Monday. If you had information about somebody who you think has a warrant or something like that, I can add a call in so my officers can follow up with you.
Okay. Yeah, no, it wouldn't. It would just be I was just curious. Is there a handbook or anything? If I was to see somebody doing something I don't know, robbing somebody, could I tackle them and say, you're under arrest for robbing somebody or assaulting somebody?
I wish I had a better answer for you. I don't want to advise you wrong.
Yeah. No, I gotcha.
Mostly it's the state of Washington, so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know for sure over in Idaho. Let me see if I can just quickly Google at least.
Yeah, I was just, and I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was just trying to call the non-emergency line. I just had a question.
No, you reached the right number.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Woo! Yep. No, and typically I could transfer you to the front desk. They're just closed until business hours on Monday. But it looks like if you look up the Idaho code, in section 19, it does look like they have something in there. So that might give you a good idea, at least until I can get you connected to records on Monday.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I can call back on Monday. You don't have to do that, hon. Okay. I'll just call back on Monday. I was just curious of what you answered my question though. Perfect. I'm gonna look that up on Google.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're great. Thank you. And I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sure you guys have stuff to do.
No, not at all.
Okay, hon. Have a good one. All right, there you have it. Citizens arrest coming in strong. All right, guys. Nothing but love over here. Truth and transparency. Appreciate you. I hear crickets over there. It's going to be crickets for a long time. Join me April 9th, April 10th. Very, very crucial hearing. Join me every day until then. We're going to be beating down the door of what is going on in the world. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Mods, much love. Peace.